what it is. How's it going, everybody? Today, we're going to be doing a review of The Adam Project, the newest sci-fi movie to hit the Netflix. We're going to be talking about all the things, talking about time travel, the Ryan and Reynolds, video games, all types of stuff. So sit back, relax, enjoy yourself, grab a snack, grab a beverage, and listen on in to the first one to die.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the First Ones to Die podcast. What it do? My name is Jonathan. I'm here with my pals, Alex and Jerome. How are y'all doing today on this lovely day? How are you doing, Alex?
I'm doing fine. Just finished my first week at my new job. So that's been an experience. Got to leave my old job, which is sad. I told you guys a story earlier, but I think it's so funny how the coworkers finally got to see my social media because I don't like people knowing about me too much. It's weird. It's a thing I have. And then one of them said he was super excited to, see me outside work or see, unprofessional Alex. And I was like, oh no, I'm the same every way, until a coworker pointed out or said, hey, who's this person in a dinosaur costume? To which I forgot that, yes, I do own an inflatable T-Rex costume that I chase the dogs around in. So I saw after that comment what he meant about, seeing me outside of me outside of a professional setting, which is interesting. I never thought there was a difference, but I learned that. And now starting a new job, I'm learning again, having to do that professional stance where yes, I'm not as crazy as you think I am. I'm actually just a calm person who can sit here. It's not going great. How about you, Jerome? How you doing?
Doing good. Just been busy working, doing dropping Legos, doing other things. Look, it's Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nice.
But I've been good otherwise. Been chilling. Mostly just still just doing the milestone initiative, enjoying that, and that's about it. Saw the Batman again yesterday, so that was, and it's still good, still holds up.
Lived up to it.
That's right.
Cool.
No grade change?
No, it was really cool. We did I did stay behind the credits this time, only to find out that the after credits
wait.
was
Yeah, you
what?
can't do
we
that.
need to put a spoiler warning?
No. The after credits is a link to go to another website to solve riddles.
Oh, okay.
So the Batman gives you homework to do?
I mean, basically.
That's stupid. All right, Jonathan, how's your day? How's your week?
Good. Was the second week of my job, of my new job. So similarly in that fresh new position feel. It feels like I just started the job yesterday and I'm already at the end of my second week. So it's gone by fast. But yeah, I haven't gotten too much sleep this week. So I'm looking forward to getting to sleep a little bit in the upcoming days. So I'm excited about that. I also this past Sunday found a new dog park that I'm going to take Gibson to for the foreseeable future. The one that I've been going to ever since I got Gibson, it's 18 to 20 minutes away, and I've been going there usually on weekends and stuff, and it's not bad, but they don't have a separate area for big dogs and smaller dogs. This new one I found, it's only 7-8 minutes away from me, and they have two separate areas for big dogs and smaller dogs, and it's new and fresh and everything, and there were a good amount of people there too.
All about dog segregation, big dogs and little dogs.
You know what? We haven't gotten a dog Martin Luther King yet. So until we get that leader in the dog community that just says, hey, until we get a dog Rosa Parks situation up in here, then
I have a dream
we're just
one day big dogs.
Look, I will tell you,
hang out at the same park together and chase tennis balls to the heart's content.
Look, I will say though, like my sister having 3 big dogs and one of them literally almost knocking me into a dishwasher while it was open. It's safer for the little dogs. They don't need no Rosa Park. What they need is to make sure they can build a wall higher for the big dogs not to jump over.
They need the big ones because if they're out in the middle of an open field, all right, the eagles are coming. All right, they go and snatch them up and just take them. All right, the big dogs help keep the eagles away. The falcons.
Have you ever
not
made
the birds?
The bigger the dog, the stupider they are. They're not going to be helpful. I love my sister's dogs, but that Winnie, she ain't got a thought behind those pretty eyes. That dog will just stare off into space like me. Thoughts.
They just surround, the idea of like ball. Food is good.
She barely gets ball. Like I'm trying to teach her how to fight. Like I'll sit there and be like, she'll like bark at me to throw a ball that she never brought back. I'm like, no, you bring ball and I throw ball, and you bring ball and I throw ball. That's how ball works. And then she'll just bark at me until I get up, grab the ball, throw it. She chases it, and then she comes back, no ball, and just barks at me. Like, where's ball?
Okay, at least Gibson knows ball.
Yeah, she's getting a little better at it. She's gotten way better at it, but still, I've had straight up conversations. Ball, you give me ball, I throw ball. That's how this works. I must have ball. And she'll just stare at me and then bark. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about.
That's what it is. No. Maybe it's out of spite. She's like, you're saying it like I'm stupid. I'm not stupid. Okay. I understand what you mean. But no, I'll play your game, lady.
She doesn't play the game. That's the whole problem. What are we reviewing?
We are reviewing the Netflix original film, The Adam Project. Yes, The Adam Project stars Ryan Reynolds, also Zoe Saldana, Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Garner, and The Adam Project. The synopsis: after accidentally crash landing in 2022, that's our time. Time-traveling fighter pilot Adam Reed teams up with his 12-year-old self for a mission to save the future. Now, if this is your first time listening to one of our reviews, how this will go is we'll first give our non-spoiler thoughts. So we'll go through what we liked, maybe didn't like about the film, but no spoilers. Then we'll warn you that we're going into spoilers and we'll spoil away. So who wants to, is anyone dying to start first with their thoughts on the Adam Project? Not really. Jerome shaking his head.
I can start. I wasn't expecting Mark Ruffalo to be in there.
Me neither.
I said, he wasn't like none of the previews or anything.
I saw the trailer, so I knew he was in there.
I didn't see him in the trailer.
He's in the trailer.
No, I didn't see.
The second I saw,
he's not in there very long. I think he's in like the ending of it or something.
The second I saw him in that photo with Jennifer Garner, I was like, "Oh, is this a reunion of 13 going on 30?" That was my first thought.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I forgot they were in this.
Yeah, you're right. There is a photo, and I saw it on Ryan Reynolds' Instagram where he like put himself in it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he edited himself in it, so they're like all together.
I haven't seen 13 going on 30 in a long time. I forgot they were in that movie together as love interest. So this could be like a sequel or something.
Right. This could take place in the same universe.
I don't know though. I don't think in 13 going on 30 he becomes a scientist at the end of that movie.
You never know. I don't actually know what he does in that. I don't recall it. Photographer. He's a photographer. I liked that movie growing up. Then I thought it was weird after a while though.
I mean, mostly just the idea of like that, like her having sex is just like she's still a 13-year-old.
Well, she never had sex, but like, body. Yeah,
right. No, isn't it that it's like a lot of people just try to have sex with her, and then it's just like,
yeah, that's what got weird at points.
No, this is weird.
Pretty much now as an adult, I'm like, absolutely not. This is creepy. But anyway, I was surprised to see him in it. So, and I do like him as an actor. And Ryan Reynolds was, as Ryan Reynolds is, like even in a not the best of movies, he's still pretty good. He's still funny because you can tell he kind of gives it his all. And like that little kid was freaking adorable. That 12-year-old, his name is Walker Scobell. He's adorable. He landed his line so well. And like his sarcasm was on point. It fit Ryan Reynolds' sarcasm so well. So I will say casting was really well done for this movie.
And you can tell they were definitely, and you said this about it.
Yeah. But go ahead.
You could tell they were definitely looking for a kid version of Ryan Reynolds, and I know that's as basic as like obvious of a statement as that is. You know, Ryan Reynolds definitely he's carved out his certain type of humor in movies. I don't think he can go back from that now. You know,
he's just Deadpool. Yes,
right. He's pretty much Deadpool in all of his movies now. So I think they were trying to find a kid version of that.
Yeah, this is the least Deadpool he's been in a long time, since Deadpool. Yeah, I thought the movie was okay. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's necessarily like amazing either. And that's mostly because like Ryan Reynolds and Walker Scobell are fantastic. They are great together. I think they have both great chemistry, but also they're great counterparts. Like I really did think that Walker was like a young Ryan Reynolds, with the way their demeanor is. Where the movie falls for me is with its third plot. It feels like it kind of just comes out of nowhere. With Mark, despite how good Mark Ruffalo is, because he's good in this movie, it just feels like that everything that happened in the third at the end is like, what are we doing? I'm sorry, where are we going? And then the biggest other issue is the villain. The villain in this movie sucks. So it is only because
and she's not in it that much.
It's not the actress's fault. It's that you barely get to know her. She's just a random person so that they can have bodies to throw at Ryan Reynolds to fight. And while the stunt choreography in this is pretty cool, I didn't care about these villains at all because I had no clue why they are doing any of what they're doing, especially Catherine Keener as the main villain, Saurian. I was like, I don't know what your deal is. So I don't know if I should care about anything happening with you. And they try to give her a little bit of backstory to like help explain a little bit kind of near the third act. But that's what I mean by the third act feels weird because it feels like they're trying to play catch up on some stuff they should have put in the first act so that it didn't feel as disjointed. But that overall, though, that's what I mean by like the movie's okay. I think if you have your kids at home and you want to watch like a fun sci-fi movie for the family, this is definitely it. This is definitely that type of movie for sure. Also, it's directed by the guy who did Stranger Things, so that's also why it kind of has a Stranger Things feel to it at points.
Oh, and that's also why I see one of the Stranger Things kids on the premiere red carpet. Even though he wasn't in the movie. I feel similarly to you guys in the sense that it was fun, it's enjoyable, maybe pop it on a random Friday night. I had seen so much buzz about it. It was trending on Twitter. I had seen articles about the film. People were talking about it. And so going into it, I'm like, oh, and also it was the #1 Netflix movie. It's been that way for,
to be fair, you
like,
can't go off of that because whatever's new that has a popular person in it will be #1 on Netflix, hands down. It's how it works.
This true, but that like combined with all of these other aspects, I'd seen like articles written about it and everything. I had assumed that this was a groundbreaking movie and that people were just loving it. But now that I know that the Stranger Things director was involved, that makes a little bit of sense. That makes a little bit of sense because maybe people are, trying to quench their thirst off of Stranger Things for having it absent so long. So anything in the realm or even a sliver of Stranger Things related content, people are wanting to grasp onto. And I assume
let it trickle into my mouth.
Right.
Here, I'll just hold the head up. You just pour it in. Let me get the runoff. I don't need the full drink. Just what's left. A few drops.
Disturbed by all
just
of that.
every last drop. And I assume that's because Stranger Things fans are very passionate, and I saw some people very passionate about this film as well. So I'm like, oh, this must be great, but it makes sense now. Bless you, Alex.
Thank you.
But yeah,
Cheddar was looking like, did you just sneeze on me?
I did. I sneezed on Cheddar. I'm sorry.
The way his head was turned, he's like, hold up, stop everything. Forget the Adam Project. Did you just sneeze on me?
I did. I'm sorry. Like, he's still not happy with me. I'm sorry.
Oh, he still got his head up. Like,
yeah, I did. It was a good sneeze on him. I'm sorry.
He's like, I am disgusted. Anyway, yeah, it was a fun, enjoyable enough movie, but there were, like Jerome said, issues with some of the plot points. I wish Zoe Saldana had been in it a little more because she was the only name other than Ryan Reynolds who I knew was in it. I didn't know Mark Ruffalo was in it. I also didn't know Jennifer Garner was in it as well. So yeah, it was fun, but it could have been better. So now let's get to the spoiler part of the movie. Jerome, you kind of alluded to the villain story and the story that we got of it. Elaborate more on that.
They try to give her more motivation by like having her meet with her younger self and be all like don't you want to matter? You know, we're always left behind and forgotten. And I'm like, we haven't seen, lady, we just met you. Like what are you talking about? And it's but I could tell that even I think when they were writing the script, even they realized like because I could see that the premise of this was time traveler comes back in time and meets his younger self and adventure ensues. But I don't think they had an idea for a villain as much as it was just maybe he's fighting a force of some kind or something. And while that's like, and I'm sure that may have been the hiccup they ran into when they were trying to like make a villain because they didn't have time. But I don't know. I just feel like they could have they waste a lot of time in this movie dealing with a lot, or rather not waste time, but they spend a lot of time dealing with the his kid version of himself, like having to deal with insecurities and the grief of losing his father and all those things. And that's cool and very well fleshed out. But that's time that's taken away from us getting to know who this villain is, why she cares about like owning the future essentially and being like the emperor from Star Wars.
And the movie's not even that long without the credits. It's like an hour 35 without the credits.
Right. So it's like we do not like it would have been nice to have a more fleshed out villain, which would have made this story kind of feel a lot more rounded. And the thing about the third act especially is that when they decide to go back to go visit Mark Ruffalo's character, it just feels so out of left field with like Ryan Reynolds' issues with his dad, because it's like up until that point it hadn't really came up like as much as it does in the third act. You also have the you get more information on the villain, but you don't understand why a younger her would become the version that's in the future. And then like it's just there's just so much going on. And then by the time we reach that, like, yeah, now we're gonna go to this facility and go take down this generator and it's gonna be fine. And I'm like, whoa, we're moving really fast. Like I go back to when it was just as simple as I have a plane that time travels, we're waiting for it to heal. Until then I gotta just fight off some bad guys. Like, that's simple.
They fell into these, so you're saying they fell into the sci-fi trap where you start off with a potentially strong premise, simple premise, easy to comprehend, and then you dive into all the technical aspects at the end once you're trying to put all the pieces together of all of the different plot points.
It just didn't feel as cohesive at the end. Now those first two acts though are really good, really solid, great action. That car chase was cool. All the actors do a great job. Even Jennifer Garner, for as little as she gets to do in this movie, she's really good as this mom who's just trying to connect with her son. Although I feel like she's gonna look over her shoulder for decades looking for Ryan Reynolds, because like after a while that conversation got creepy where it's just like he knows all this stuff.
Ryan Reynolds knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
What's even crazier is like Mark Ruffalo knew that was his son immediately looking at him. Jennifer Garner, she's just like, oh, hello, random man at this bar.
She knew at the end when he left.
Yeah, because at that
she
point, he either
suspected.
has to be her son or a stalker. Like, those are the only two options.
How is that the only two options?
Because the amount of information he knows, that means he has to be with like some binoculars or something, like watching into the house if he's not her child.
Hey, we're in the age of social media. Someone could come up to me tomorrow and be like,
He
I know
knows
your
his
name.
son's inner thought, her son's inner thoughts. Like,
yeah, that's a bit predatory right there. I will say with the villain, they could have easily just made it that she wanted to be evil. They didn't have to have this whole like, oh, you know, aren't you tired of being pushed aside? It's you get what you want. Do you want it enough? It's simple as that. You have been evil your whole life. There you go. There's no need for like a soppy background story for you. You don't need to be fleshed out. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Let her burn it. Like they try to put something in there that wasn't necessary because all the heartfelt stuff was with the family.
And I think also,
go ahead.
I think also the fact that we didn't spend really any time in 2050, so we didn't know what the world looked like then.
They tell us that 2050 is like all destroyed and stuff, but it's like we're never there, so
yeah, and we know why. We know it's because of her like wreaking havoc, but we don't know how she wreaks havoc. We just know that she does. We don't know why she does.
Properly explain how the time travel really allows her to have all this control in the future.
Yeah,
don't really give detail. She finds the use of time travel and able to control the future. Is it that she's going back in time and just continuously manipulating little moments? And if so, how is that working out? And how is somebody on the time machine not noticing that just yet?
Well, I guess that's what this movie is them finally noticed. Well, Zoe Saldana noticed. That's why she was gone.
Then how did they get the answer to time travel? Because if the evil villain
invented it, and he was working with her, and so she essentially, like, after he died, she stole it. And like,
right, so they didn't have access to it.
Who?
Ryan Reynolds and Zoe, they didn't have access to the father's information.
No, they did.
From where?
Because after Sorian takes the time travel, she still keeps the company and like turns it into a thing where time travel is accessible. It's just she's also in charge. She's like the richest woman on the planet, so she becomes evil. But Ryan Reynolds and Zoe Saldana, who go to like flight school and learn how to fly planes that can time travel, know everything about time travel. Like all the information is accessible. It's just the person in charge of it is also an evil maniacal villain. So
this is just a stupid villain. This is all around a stupid villain. I've used this as a weapon to manipulate the whole universe into making me like basically empress or queen, but let me just sell it as public recreational usage now.
I don't know if it's recreational, but definitely like military use.
It feels recreational at this point. So many people are traveling through time.
I don't think you can go on over to the Subaru dealership real quick and get you a time traveling jet in 2050.
They got they have like jets that can travel through time. Why not?
Or you like you got that new electric car? Nah, we got the time travel jet. We got that in the back. They're working on the engine right now.
Or did they already finish the engine?
Here, why don't you come on with me? We'll sign the paperwork, and then by the time we're done, we'll have it fresh out to you with that new car smell.
Honestly, a lot of things could have resolved if the dad died way earlier. Because
Alex,
I don't think they would have thought in their mind. You know what we need to do? This is how we'll fix it. We're gonna go visit our dad when he was a teenager, and we're gonna shank him up real good.
I'm just saying, like when he was first developing it. Problems. I'm just saying, with like smart people or like people who have like determined for like designing certain things, they will go back to it. They can't resist it. This dude figured out time travel. You think he's just gonna be like, yeah, for the better of the world, I'll just not write anything down. But like that knowledge is there, and one of these days he's gonna write some shit on a post-it note, and that's what happens. That's when it happens again. And like, I love time travel. I'm like big reader on it. I just everything about time travel. I watch a lot of movies on it and about the multiverse. In the end, did they create a multiverse? Didn't they go back to 2050 and wasn't it still the same?
No, it just
wasn't,
reset
right?
the timeline. There is no multiverse. They say that in this movie.
Then that's like the grandfather complex.
Yeah, they
Where you
say
go-
that you have a fixed time, and if you deviate from that, it can be dangerous or whatever.
Right. It'll reset you back to your fixed time when things change.
But that clearly is not a fixed time then. So
Well,
they
fixed time
attempted
in the
in-
sense of like what at one like based off of your I don't know from
But
What's
chronological
supposed to happen
patterns,
or whatever.
when you're what time period you're supposed to be from specifically.
but they
So in the
didn't
case of like the kid, he's supposed to be in the year 2022 at that time, certain date, whatever.
but that's not how a fixed point happens because there's divergence from other points in time. In
Here's
fact,
the
that
thing,
time
though.
is probably weakened because now you're having like
you can't say what can and can't happen with theoretical science that isn't proven. There is no such thing as a time machine in real life.
I'm
So
just
there is no
saying.
that can't
I don't know.
happen.
Look,
I don't
no,
know
no,
how-
no, no. Think about it. Think
Jerome,
about it.
Jerome, have you seen Pharrell though?
That's true. That man has something.
Listen, the fact that he has found the fountain of youth in Florida has nothing to do with the fact that there is no such thing as a damn time machine.
Two separate
shared
topics:
it
the
with-
fountain of youth and time travel.
He's sharing it with Keanu Reeves because that man is now just aging. It just started.
They just be drinking it like turkeys. Just lift it. Like, hold
Keanu
up,
Reeves is
mouth
finally
open
like,
this.
you know, I'm gonna take a break. People are getting too suspicious. Like, let me age like a couple years and then I'll drink it again. No, I'm just saying, well, time is like supposed to be straight. It's supposed to be a wire. But think about it as like each individual is a string. What you're doing is like pulling a string, putting it in this location, which weakens everything else. So that's not a fixed point in time. All you're doing is creating a messy knot.
Also, they already established that they're not changing time. They're reverting it back to the way it was supposed to be because Saurian already changed time. So they're actually fixing the timeline. They're not breaking it.
But they're not because the dad would have done because it probably would have gone up to when the dad already discovered time travel. And it wasn't until she used the machine first to mess with it. Technically, they still screwed up the future and created an alternate timeline to what was actually supposed to be happening without.
Look, regardless,
I'm just saying. I don't know why. I don't know why time travel is not that hard of a concept to grasp.
It actually is, because it's not possible. It's
It
very
is
hard
possible.
concept.
I absolutely believe it's possible. The multiverse exists, not like fucking Marvel style, but also let's talk about the most important thing in this film, or the most terrible thing. The CGI. The CGI was so bad in this
I
film.
think it was that bad. I think
Oh,
it
it
was
was
okay in most parts. The only part I know what you're talking about is
The
only part
de-aging?
is trying to de-age Catherine Keener because it was like, what are y'all doing? Just you already got a young Ryan Reynolds right here. Just hire another actress and like you put some makeup and prosthetics on her to make her look like a young Catherine Keener, or better yet, just let her be the same age. And dye her hair like a dark color.
Yeah,
so she has more gray in it or something.
They were. I read something that they were like, oh, it's supposed to be like, she doesn't age anymore because of the time travel. Almost like eternal youth. I agree with you. There was no reason to like do that horrible, what is it called, deep face or whatever.
Yeah, the deep fake.
Oh, deep fake.
Deep fake. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awful. All of it
Because
was awful.
the rest of the CG in the movie is fine. The lasers look cool. The jets look cool. The the sci-fi like gadgetry they have looks awesome. It's just that it's like what are y'all doing? Why did y'all do the face like this? It's so weird.
I wouldn't say the gadgetry is like better. I don't
I
know
think it's
why
pretty good.
every time there's a future gadget, it has to be like illuminated. What is the deal with that? What is with future gadgets? They always have to have like lights on it now.
Name one thing that's made in the modern day that doesn't have some type of light on it, even when it's turned off.
A shotgun. What I got.
No. That's not modern. I'm talking about
the
actual.
I'm
talking about
the weaponry. The weaponry has to light up. Why? You're trying to be sneaky and shoot somebody, but here, let me get my laser show out before I shoot
It's
you.
not that bright, and also it's red, which is the darkest color on the color spectrum of light.
it's still unnecessary for you to always have lights on your weapon. I
Plus,
always
it's
hate that
shooting
with
energy. Energy are lasers. Lasers have color. It's unavoidable. You're not going to get over that. If bullets could glow, your shotgun would glow.
just saying. I just don't like it when futuristic movies have everything glowing and everything's floating. I don't know why things need
That's the
float.
future, baby. That's
I
what
don't know
we
why
do in the future. We float.
I don't know
and
why in the
glow.
future everything has to be chrome. It's like that SpongeBob meme. Why is
All right,
everything
I'm about to
chrome?
say, I don't know if it's all chrome. Like, there's definitely some matte black in there somewhere on the jet
All
somewhere.
right, matte black
Chrome and
then
matte
chrome.
black.
We're literally like everything else lights up, but everything else is also turning into slowly like silver and black. So like that's contradicting with each other.
I love the fact that the jet heals itself. That's actually cool. Imagine if you had a car that can repair itself without you doing anything. You just set it in the repair mode, and it's like, all right, well, it'll fix the engine later. I'll just
that actually would be great because my
But
car's
also-
still making a noise.
But also it is in tune to your health, which is weird. So if like he had an ailment, so that's why the car
It's
wouldn't
like,
start.
oh, I see you have a paper cut. You ain't going nowhere.
Right,
Like, what?
right. It's like,
No,
what's
let
the
me
barometer?
drive.
What's the limit?
Look, I'm dying. I need to go to the hospital. Yeah, you're dying. You don't need to drive anywhere. You're not in no condition to drive. But I'm the only one. I got to get to the hospital now. You'll be all right. No.
Yeah, like I'm bleeding.
No.
I bleed all the time. Like I'd never be able to drive my car. Like I have a little wound on my finger right now.
Dang.
Jerome,
Like,
come back alive.
Jerome.
He died
I'm dead.
because his car wouldn't take him. His car wouldn't drive him. He stayed down there for a while. I think the only like honestly good part of this film was that kid. His interaction with Ryan Reynolds. Because no, like I will say, like when movies and shows are trying to find like kids that look more like the actor that they're playing, but don't always get the same like gestures, or they don't feel like they would actually be them as kid. Like, hey, you look like you would be related, not like you would actually be them. This kid matches Ryan Reynolds' energy. This kid might grow up to be Ryan Reynolds in the future.
Mhm.
He landed all those sarcastic lines just perfectly.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where movies and sometimes TV shows go wrong, in that they're trying to go so much for the look versus the actual character. It's easier to put makeup on somebody and make them look like a person than it is to make them act like a person. So I agree that the kid definitely, I shouldn't call him the kid. He's an actor. Walker, I'm sorry. Walker Scobell.
Who the hell is Walter?
Yeah, I was like, you didn't even get trying to respect
there's
him.
a kid in this day and age named Walter.
I'll give you credit though. You were trying to give him respect as an actor. You may have messed up his name, but you're trying to give him respect as an actor.
Right. I apologize, Mr. Scobell. But he did a great job. He matched Ryan Reynolds' energy. I can imagine that would be intimidating for someone who, is maybe just starting out in the biz.
Actually, is this like his first film?
I don't know. Let me go on his IMDb and check. I'm assuming that he's done stuff before, but I don't know about film wise. And
yeah, this is his first movie.
Yeah, it looks like his first thing he's ever done.
Yeah, he's mostly done like TV stuff.
That was as himself. That's
well,
himself.
I mean, as himself, like he's come on, and
well, that's all been in 2022.
So it's all in promotion for this movie.
This is his first thing. He's gonna be in a thing called Secret Headquarters after, with Owen Wilson. Okay, and Michael Pena and Jesse Williams. Anyway. But yeah, wow, that's even more impressive. This is
he got into another like star-studded cast almost.
Yeah,
I mean, after this, he's proven himself. He proves that he can. I mean, that's always the biggest thing, and it's why like a lot of people look up to, as far as like kid actors, like the It kids, the Stranger Things kids. It's like you're dealing with kids that can hold their own against adults who have been in the industry for like decades. And they're coming in young, but like professional, able to do the job and do it really well. So he's on the right track to probably like set himself up right and do a lot of great things, especially because he's teaming up with the Stranger Things guy. Sean Levy, I'm sure, has helped a lot of those Stranger Things kids go on to do amazing things. Each of them. So
Yeah. No, I agree. And like this kid definitely has the talent. You're right. He was against like actors who've been in the business since some of them were there when they were kids themselves. And in his first production, he fit right in. He matched the energy of the other actors perfectly. And it didn't come out in any, I don't know, of course, offset, but in the, movie, you never feel like, oh, he was intimidated or, oh, he held back or anything. Because you can see that with even some adult actors, they were clearly holding back because either they were trying not to upstage or they were just nervous. This kid doesn't have that energy at all. He fit so well. And honestly, I think he's the best part of this movie. Because, yeah, also, he's so freaking adorable. He's got that like curly hair.
Him and Ryan Reynolds are great together. I love that Ryan Reynolds in this movie I think he treats himself, the kid version of himself, the same way anybody would. if I met the kid version of myself, especially at 12 or 13, I'd be like, can you shut up? God dang, like I'm just here just to heal up and recover, and you can't keep your mouth shut 5 seconds. I'm gonna punch you in the face. It's so bad.
That was my thing with the people and their past versions of themselves in this movie. People would be bullying themselves in this movie. Like people be bullying themselves, their past versions of themselves. I'm like, is this how it is for everyone? We all would just like bully our past self.
I mean, to be fair, like younger him deserved to have his butt kicked though. It's like, look, if you go and dish it out, you got to be able to take it. Okay, you can't have. I learned that lesson as a kid. If you're gonna have a big mouth, be prepared to take some big ass whoopings. Okay, because that's what it earns you. If you don't have the fist to back it up.
My mom taught me if I was going to be a smartass, I'd better know the stuff I'm being a smartass about, which is why I know random shit about things. I think, I have such a I don't know if I would enjoy meeting younger Alex, or if it would be a bully situation, and I don't know who would be a bully, because my mom was always very thankful that through everything in our family's lives, she was like, okay, Alex is a bully. I don't have to worry about her getting bullied. So I don't know who's a bigger dick, younger me or me now. I do it with
because younger me doesn't have the filter. They're young. They don't know as much as you do as an adult.
Here's a question.
Younger Alex had more of a filter. It's a problem.
Here's a question. Would you rather go to the past and give yourself advice, or go to the future and get advice from your future self?
I go to the past, because if you go to the future, it doesn't, like, whatever happens every time. And if you go to the future, as soon as you see that future, as soon as you get back, that future's changed, because you saw the future. what's
the future is permanent. Once you know the future, it's permanent. Because your brain thinks about that thinks about that future, and what you do will always end up directing you towards that future. It's like when when somebody tells you you're going to die near water, and you're like, okay, I will stay away from rivers and oceans, but you end up just causing all these things that happen, and then you end up drowning. But then you end up drowning in like a bathtub.
What? Why?
Because you were like avoiding water, but you didn't think about this water. Your mind was like, okay, I need to avoid these big bodies of water, making you think you're safe.
I know what you're talking about. Right. I know what you're talking about. It's like on those episodes of That's So Raven, when she got a vision, and she tried so hard not to make that vision happen that she actually made it happen.
See, but that's different, because that's just a visual. You said get advice, so that means I'm going there and talking to somebody. It's not I saw what I thought was my future, so I'm going to try and figure it out. It's like, no, it's like I'm going to actually talk to my future self and be like, so wait, how did we get here? Oh, well, we invested in Bitcoin, and, it blew up, and now, here we are. So just invest in Bitcoin around this time, 2022, You'll be all right.
Not unless you tell me the company, then I could do the company and then be good.
So it's like that's different. You're finding out specific information about the
You
future,
tend to,
not just a
if
general idea.
if you
based
get
off of
told
vision.
something, you will, and you're like, hey, I need to avoid this, you will automatically, it's been known to, you will automatically find a way. You will do it without your own knowledge, like subconsciously go towards that direction.
Also, again,
it's
this is
that
all
way.
theoretical. We don't
It's
know.
a theoretical. That's literally what people do.
So you
Don't
talk
go-
to your future
Don't go
self
there.
and then done so, and then seen it and then been like, okay, now I will choose to do this, that, and the third based off that future information.
Probably I would go talk to future self, because past self is, look, I've been very open about the damage that I am now. Think about the damaged Alex before therapy and medication. Do you know what that is? That's that. I'm not revisiting that. I don't know how to talk to that. I'm not going back there. I'll go to that one who's already been medicated for another 30 years. Probably works out better.
But I talked to my past self. I'd just give him, I don't even think I'd actually give him advice though. I think I would just hang out with him and just like, like, and make him feel better. You'll never know it that he's talking to himself, but just to, I don't know. I think I think all I wanted when I was that age was like around like Adam's age was just a friend. And like,
Oh, that's so
someone
sad.
to say like, you're okay. So so I think that's what I would do, just go back in time and just be like, you're all right, like you're gonna be okay, I promise.
I'd probably go to my past self as well, just because the future is scary and I wouldn't want, even if it were good things that I had found out that there were good things in the future in store. I look at me, if there were good things in the future in store.
Dude, like the time period we're living in, we don't even know, okay? Like that's a
don't
fair,
you know we're gonna have
that's
a
a fair
peach for a
statement.
president for 4 years. He's gonna be a madhouse, and then there's gonna be a virus, killer bees.
Oh, what is it? Up in Georgia, they got the flying jumping spiders now.
I was saying, it's just like, it's a complete pandemonium. Cats and dogs living together. You don't understand.
But
I mean, like, it's not wrong. The killer bees were like a mid-season thing too. No, I get what you're saying. Like, there's so much more uncertainty with the future.
Right. Even like even if there were good things in store, I would be constantly thinking about, okay, how is this going to happen? How am I going to get to those good things? How are these good things going to come? And if there were obviously bad things, what was that?
When does then become now?
Right. I would be so anxious about like, okay, when exactly is this going to come to fruition? And obviously if there were bad things, I'll be thinking about those too. So I'd rather go to the past, give myself maybe some advice. I'd give maybe my 6th grade self some advice, because the elementary school years were great. The middle school years, not so great. So I would give myself some advice going into middle school. And so I can,
like, that kid, you got to kick him in the nuts real hard. And that kid, you got to make sure you become friends with that kid, because he actually is rich now in the future. So he's good to know. That kid, I don't know about him. We were friends with him for a while, but he ain't all that in a bag of chips. Maybe don't talk to him no more.
Right. Exactly.
Your future.
The only thing I could imagine telling my younger self is, hey, you made it to 30. I don't know how the fuck you did that, but you made it to 30. So like, maybe write some shit down and come up with some type of plan, because I'm there now and I got no idea what's going on or how I even got here. So like, maybe start looking at colleges like now, kid, or something. Start forming some idea or some plan. I don't have any advice. I don't have any suggestion, but like, I need you now to figure something out, because we're going to get here. And like, no.
Listen, all I'm saying is you're going to be on a podcast in the future. You got to set higher goals.
And then your past self will be like, what's a podcast?
What's a podcast?
You're a glorified receptionist who does a podcast and you live alone in a tiny box with a cat. Like, maybe
So you're
just like
saying your past self would be roasting your future self?
like all I'm saying is like I'd probably give that kid more anxiety than she already had. Be like, kid, you got to start thinking about that future. I know what you're thinking, and I know how long you think you're gonna live, but that's a lie. That's a lie. You're making it to 30, and I need you to figure some shit out now, because when we get to 30, like, no, man, you need to have some shit together.
See, I feel like mine would ask the stereotypical dumb little boy questions that they all have, like kind of like Adam, where he's like, so do you have like a girlfriend? No. Well, you've been with like a lot of girls, right? No. But like, do you do like comic books or stuff? No. Look, I'm here to
I mean, kind of. You can now tell your kid you work with like DC.
That's true, I guess. There's just like, it's like, are you in movies? No.
I mean,
stop asking questions. You're making me feel bad. You're making me regret ever coming back here.
And then you say to the kid, and then you tell the kid, okay, what have you done? That's what you tell the kid, okay?
And then he's gonna look at me and be like, I'm 12.
Maybe start working on shit earlier, man. You disappointed in this? Maybe start getting your shit together now. Yeah, this is what I said. We probably get the younger ones more anxiety. Just as though if we go to the future, we are getting anxiety from them being like, how do we get here?
Just our older selves go over there and start yelling at them like, get your shit together. And then
like, I will say, I think younger me will immediately figure out who I am, because I look exactly the same from when I was a child to like now. Like there is a straight line of me just aging. There have been no changes in like anything. My hair color for a while changed because I was dyeing it, but literally the same kind of chubby cheeks. I do the same stare, that deadpan stare when somebody's getting near me and I'm like, don't touch me. Like there's baby pictures of me with that shit. Like you could look at a younger picture of me and you're like, oh, that's Alex, that's straight up Alex. Do you think younger yous can like recognize older you, or do you guys think your facial changes?
I don't think I would. And not because I don't look like myself as a kid, but just because my kid brain probably wouldn't put two and two together at first. It'd be like a thing where they have to see a picture like side by side to put two and two together, probably.
I definitely would, because I'm similar to you, Alex. I look pretty much the same as when I was a kid, except now I have a mustache and a goatee. But I pretty much.
I feel like Jonathan. I feel like kid Jonathan is the exact same person. Like you're just even keeled and cool, and you're just realistically, you're not gonna go over there to give your younger self advice. Just have a combo. Go get some ice cream or something and chill out.
Yeah, you'd probably not give your younger self anxiety, but I do see what you mean. Also, like, he might also just think you're a younger version of your dad because you guys look
that's what
similar.
I was about to say too.
Yeah, I was like, this should be my dad from the past. Like I could see the younger you thinking that, just because I've seen how he. Yeah, I was like, well, maybe
would you keep up that facade just so you don't hurt the timeline?
Right.
Like, yes, I'm
son,
your dad. You did your homework, right? I don't know.
I will say I am whiter than I used to be when I was younger because I stopped going outside. So I'd probably tell the kid, hey, maybe spend more time outside. You're going to lose some melatonin over the years. And like,
I don't think you lose melatonin. I think it's just more you don't have
melanin.
And that too. It's
melatonin helps you fall asleep.
I kind of say words wrong now to see how long it takes Jerome to catch up.
No,
but you went with it. You even said melatonin.
Don't lie to me. You said melatonin. You meant that.
Then why did you say melatonin too?
Because I totally forgot what melanin was.
No, I do need it. Well, no, because like before this wasn't as light as I used to get. It's because over the years you just you can lose it because you're just not exposing your skin to it anymore. And like now, I don't think I could be as dark as I was when I was a kid. Not unless I cook myself a little bit.
Yeah, you got to go outside and be outside in the tan. Hit the beach.
I don't even get that dark anymore. That's
because you live in Seattle. There's like no sun.
Come down to LA.
Ever. Right, go to LA and just hang out in the beach sun for like a few days. I promise you, your skin tone will return.
I've actually gotten sunburned
golden
now.
Brown glow.
No, I gotten sunburn now. I've never had that as a child or as a teen.
I've only
Or
ever
as a
had
young
sunburn
adult.
one time. One time.
I had to-
Anyway,
I had to-
Same.
Yeah. You.
Anyway, the
Yeah.
Adam Project. We kind of gone like
Well,
super
we were-
far off.
We were talking about
on
meeting
topic.
you.
Yes, we were on topic. We just weren't talking about the movie, but we were on topic.
Here's a question. Would you go, like, we've talked about meeting our younger selves, but would you do what Ryan Reynolds did, where you go talk to your parents as an adult in the future? Or in the past, I mean.
Oh, in the past?
Yeah. Like, talk to your parents in the past and be like, hey. how's it
Sure. Yeah. You wouldn't, even if you knew it wouldn't mess up the timeline.
No, because I would have words with my parents. I cannot guarantee meeting them in the past won't mess up the future because I got some words for younger them.
You would just be like, hey, y'all messing up. All right. Get it together.
What age range? What age range?
Well, let's say, like, you know, whenever you were 12, whatever age
However
your
old your
parents were
parents
at that time.
I wasn't really listening that much to my dad. I still got words for my mom, so no. I can't. I would mess up the timeline just because like I could say shit to past self. No, I can't. I wouldn't. Because I
honestly don't think I would either, and mostly just because of stuff that my parents have gone through up until, I don't know. I definitely probably talked to my mom. I don't know if I talked to my dad. Not because I love my parents unequally, but just because I don't know what I would say to my dad. Compared to I have some idea what I would say to my mom if I like could go back in time at this current age and go back to that time period when I was in middle school.
I'd probably cry, like,
Aww.
like just being like,
you make me feel like such a bad kid. I'm gonna be like, I can't because I'm gonna have words with my mom. You're like, I would cry meeting my mom. Shit, all right.
Like, no, it'd be weird because it'd be weird. It'd be like, this is a weird, like, this is just a weird, unless it was a situation where, you know, time travel is normal and you see people from the past every single day. But if this was just a one-time thing where you could just travel to the past and meet your parents when, you know, you were a kid, it'd be weird. And I'd probably like get emotional. Maybe not in the moment, but afterwards it'd be like, oh my God.
You know, wait.
Like,
you know what else is
you
weird?
Could tell them about so many things.
Hold on. You know what else is weird? Is Jerome, are you drinking a glass of milk? Just a glass of milk?
You damn right. It's almond milk. It's vanilla almond milk. It's fantastic.
Who the fuck just drink milk?
Me, God damn it.
What the hell is going on?
There's a debate online. I can.
No, you don't just drink straight up milk, and you just don't do that on camera like that.
I do.
It's almond milk.
I used to. My mom does, and I've done it as a kid. I don't do it now unless I have like a cookie or something.
Yeah,
or something sweet.
You have cookies. You have something with it. You just don't drink straight up milk.
Y'all messing up.
But I can see the appeal.
Don't
even if it was cow's milk.
Don't defend him. It's just true. Anyway, I think my mom has
parents.
I will say this about my mom. She is easier to talk to now because she has experienced so much growth. So you need to stop doing that. I see it and then I get distracted.
Jerome's picking up the glass.
You don't like this.
Yes, I do.
You don't like the milk.
Fucking milk. Who drinks milk? Anyway, my mom has had so much growth, and like it's easier to talk to her now than it was back then. So I don't think I could talk to her as me now because I probably would get frustrated and be like, this is the person that like I would have words with. But like my mom now, I'd be like, yeah, I can easily talk. I can mostly talk to her, but like meeting younger her when she was raising younger me was like no. So I think that would be the only reason I don't think I could like talk to my parents at all.
Now here's a trip. Would you go and see your parents at that age of like 12 or whatever when they were growing up, or even high school age? Just, you know, your younger version of your parents.
No,
I think
because
so.
I couldn't speak to them.
I would love to. I
My-
would, even if I just had to be from a distance and just view my parents and just like see what they were like. I've always been curious, like what because you hear the stories, but it's like, yeah, but was that like how you were really, or is that just how you remember it?
Right, exactly.
Because
My mom likes to show off how fly she was in high school. She's like, I was one of the popular girls. But I want to
go
see
back
if that
and
was
she's like
really
a nerd.
Right. Judging from the pictures that she's shown, I believe her story because she was pretty fly back then. But not saying that she's fly now too, but she looked fly back then. But I want to see if it lines up.
I'd love to see both my dad and my mom how they were in high school.
Mm-hmm. My parents both had afros in the day. Back in the day,
my mom had the
like big ones or just like this.
Like medium size, maybe like that.
Okay.
No, my mom used to have kind of like the salt and pepper type hairstyle. And then my dad, I think his hair was low cut. I don't think he had an afro when he was in high school.
I don't know much about my dad during his younger years. A few about like maybe in his like 20s and early 19s. I wouldn't probably want to meet him because it's a language barrier because he only spoke Spanish at the time. My mom, she did go to high school in America and she was a very good girl. I don't think I could we've talked about my mom like in high school and stuff, and she was a very good girl and like studious and working all the time. I told her I probably would have bullied her a little bit. We would not have been friends. She was a straight up like nerd, and I was like, nah, like we're not cool. But I think it would have been nice to like meet her and been like, yeah, like you're doing great. You're gonna that version of my mom I would be cool with and be like, yeah, I mean, it's gonna take you almost 60 years, but you're gonna be fine. Probably not the most inspirational thing, but I think it would be nice meeting younger her. I think it would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to actually meet my sister in her younger years too. I think there might be like right before she turns about maybe around like 14 and 15 before she becomes a straight asshole. I think there's a nice little grace period. No, because she went through some she went through some shit. And like
I was gonna say, what if she's listening to this? Christian, hi.
I call her an asshole. I call her an asshole every time.
Yeah, that's part of sibling talk.
Yeah, it's not a sibling. As a sibling, you're allowed to call your siblings anything they want. Now, there's a period where she was just working shit out, and I get that, and that's fine. But like, there was like a grace period between like the really religious Christian, that we just left the Baptist school, and like the rebellious asshole, lots of problems Christian. There's like this tiny little grace period in between. I think it'd be nice to meet that one. I don't remember much about that one. I think she would be like a fun time to talk to. 2-year span, I think.
See, I would, but my sister is very much still the same as she was in high school. So I feel like I talked to high school version of my sister. I mean, she's definitely a lot more mature. She's got her own apartment. She's doing good. I'm proud of her. But at the same time, there's a lot of things about her personality that's still the same from when she's high school, like all the best parts. So I feel like I get to still like when I talk to my sister, I still get to hang out with the high school version of my sister, but with like extra adult qualities added on top of that, like all the time. So I think I'm cool. If anything, I think I would just like meet with my younger self to be like, to be a nicer brother, probably just to my younger sister. So I would by proxy make her life different, but only because I'm giving advice to my younger self that will help her by extension.
Would you meet your sister, Jonathan?
Well, me and my sister have had like the same dynamic growing up, and she's 8 years older than me. So it was like a gap. Maybe I'd go back to when she was just 8 years. Maybe I'd go back 8 years to when she's my age right now to see if what we have in common, what we have, what we don't have in common and stuff. So that could be interesting.
You'd be like, and don't pick on Jonathan no more. Like, I'm just saying, I mean, I'm not him from the future. I'm just saying, like, if you could be nicer, that'd be cool. He'd really appreciate that. Okay, bye.
And,
Right.
and also, correct me, isn't she also your like half sister? So if you met her any years before that, that would be actually might be a strange conversation to have too. Explaining that you're not her full brother.
Right. No, well, we've had the same dad for our whole lives.
Right, but like going back, before probably your dad and your mom got married when she was quite younger.
Oh yeah,
That would
yeah.
be a whole past the 8-10 years. I don't know how long your parents have been together. Past those years, just having to explain to her like, hey, yeah, I'm your sibling. Oh yeah, well,
Your
we have the
parents
same
are,
dad.
yeah.
Look, there's a lot of things I can't explain to you yet, but like, yeah, we're siblings, sort of, mostly. We are.
Yeah, that'd be the
Right.
one thing. It's like explaining stuff like that, because it's like explaining a death is one thing, but explaining like relationship stuff to like any version of yourself, whether that be yourself or to your parents, is like would be weird. Just be like, yep, it's like oh, you guys are still married in this universe. What do you mean still? Okay, bye. This is like weird. Just take off.
I think honestly, the one thing I would tell myself, younger self, is that like, or the only advice I would have is that it's okay to be excited about things. Because I wasted so many years not really willing to enjoy what was around me, not being able to be like, oh, I really love this. And there's a lot of reasons for it and the people around me because of it. But like now as an adult, I get to be so nerdy about things. I get to be so excited about things. And it's so much fun. And it makes you just feel good. So I think that's one of the things I would tell my younger self is like it's okay to be super excited about what might be a stupid little toy, but it makes you happy. So like let it make you happy. I think that's the biggest advice I would be willing to give myself, because that in future life really has made a difference. And I think it has like made me nicer towards people because I'm not repressing anything. And like if somebody's like, oh, that's stupid, I'm just like, fuck you. It is stupid, but it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So, like,
I think the advice I would give my younger self is like twofold, and it kind of just plays on each other. It's like, A, it's okay to be angry. Like, don't feel like you're being a burden because you're angry about stuff. And B, take care of yourself. Like, don't like, because I'm very, and I still deal with that now of like being so much of a people pleaser. But when I was a kid, it was even worse, where it was always like, I want to make sure I want everybody to like me because I'm so used to not being or feeling like I'm not wanted. And so it's just like it's okay to like to have those selfish days where you just need to take care of yourself. Because if you're not okay, then everything else won't be okay.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I think you guys are right in the sense that I wouldn't necessarily give advice to my younger self, but I would want to have that conversation, and I would want my younger self to actually help me, my current self, in a way. I would want my younger self to just be like, wow, you did. I would tell my younger self about basically everything that's happened in my life. And then I would want them to hopefully be like, wow, you've done so much. I'm proud of you. You're doing great, Jonathan.
That's cool. I mean, I don't know what it is, but that sounds cool.
And I would want that validation from my younger self, because I feel like there are times when I think and I'm like, oh, I'm not living up to the point where, what would younger Jonathan think of where I'm at right now? When I was 10 or 13 years old, I envision myself to be somewhere else that I'm not at right now. So I would just want that validation from my younger self, in the sense that I would want them to be proud of where I am, what I'm doing, who I am. And yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's something like, even with the Adam Project, bringing it back,
This episode got deep, by the
It
way.
got deep a little bit at the
We
end
got
there.
deep.
Well, it can be like that when you're, it's a movie about talking to your younger self. And although he keeps, the movie keeps light, he does bring up the grief he has with his father a lot and how it's clearly affected him into like his 40s. And that shows you if you don't work out your shit, how it really does hold on to you.
Mhm.
And like that's something, I would like to tell my younger self, like, things are you're really fucked up right now. But like as soon as you start like working through it, letting things go, realizing like you can be happy, like things get better. And it's the same way with the Adam Project, because as soon as he kind of does this accepting of his father's fate, because the father's like, hey, I don't want to know what happens. What happens is what happens. You shouldn't change things like that. He's like, yeah, you're right. I mean, what happens, but at least I can not be a jerk to my mom, who was just trying her best, especially when you lose a spouse.
And by the way, the mom called him a jerk. I was like, have I ever seen a mom on a TV show or movie call her son a jerk? No, I haven't.
I feel like there's always like one of the sitcoms where the mom says something she regrets like that. Like a brat. Usually it's like a brat.
Right. It was weird. The word jerk, it stood out to me. I was like, oh, wow. Oh, geez, that's hitting.
He was a little bit of a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess you shouldn't call your children a jerk.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. My mom, told my sister once that she's like, sometimes I don't like you. So I think there's some.
Well, you know what they say about family? You don't always have to like them, but you always love them.
Listen, I know how that feels. I'm sure there are times when my mom didn't like me either when I was a kid.
Yeah, my mom's like,
not, at all times.
She was like, you were mean.
That.
She told me straight out. She's like, you were mean. You scared me sometimes. I'm like, I was horrible. But I think with the Adam Project, it wasn't as if they had moved away from this weird villain story at the end, it would have been a pretty decent family movie. But then they had to add that, weird third part or weird ending where suddenly the villain, is you don't have to be stepped on. You could have, again, just made her evil. And this would have been a nice family-friendly time traveling film.
Yeah. I mean, it still is, but it's just like trying to add that extra element on the end. It just felt unnecessary. And it felt half-baked. And it's like either you do it or you don't do it at all. Like trying to do it halfway is not going to work.
Yeah. Do we have any grades?
Yeah, I'm not even going to do final thoughts. Grade, gets for me a C.
Yeah, it got kind of heavy in here, so.
Right.
It's getting a C, not plus nor minus, just C for me.
What about you, Jonathan?
I'll give it a C as well. Fun, but fun isn't always, the barometer for a great movie. It could have been improved in certain ways. Plot wise, acting was great, but I'm gonna have to give it I'll give it a C+. I'll give it a C+ because it wasn't like terrible, and I know C is not a terrible grade, but it's bad enough. So I don't
get degrees.
They do, but I'll give it a C+. That'll be my final grade.
Also, sorry, real quick. Also wanted to say Zoe Saldana does great in this movie.
And she's not in it enough.
So
yeah,
there's not much to talk about.
She pops in and out. I'm with Jonathan. I give it a C+, mainly just because they had a really good cast. The like sometimes you'll get that one actor or two like that just weakens it, but like they actually had a very good cast. Even the supporting actors were all just really good in this. It was just the weak plot line they had that really messed it up. I mean, again, all the actors, that little kid, Walker, was just adorable. I loved him. His interaction with Ryan Reynolds was great. Ryan Reynolds is always so funny. And Mark Ruffalo was a nice surprise because I didn't see him in the trailer.
Mark Ruffalo is always just so lovable. Even here, he played grumpy and, agitated, but he's always so lovable.
Yeah, he's a grumpy scientist, which fits him. And like, I am such a nerd about time travel. I will watch
punch he did in the movie where he jumps up. I was like, what the heck was that?
It wasn't. I thought he was actually gonna fall down for a second because the way he landed looked really unsteady. But yeah, I say C plus just because like the cast is the only reason it got a plus. The rest of the movie not so much. The cast is the reason it got the plus because again, they all just
if you're looking
so
forward
well.
to more Mark Ruffalo, he's going to be in She-Hulk this year. So
Oh, I thought I'm done with Marvel movies. I can't.
no, it's a show, not a movie.
I can't do Marvel anymore.
Listen, I understand. Just this, but we got Moon Knight coming out soon.
So
Ms. Marvel
much.
coming after that, and then there's another, and then Doctor Strange I think also comes out after Ms. Marvel or in between, something like that. So it's like there's so much Marvel going on. It can
No
be
more.
it's a bit exhausting.
No more. Don't make
To
me
be
do
honest, I honestly still
And
think
Ryan
they should have
Coogler's getting
ended
arrested.
you know what though? Here's the thing. He knows better. All right.
Wait, what?
Okay,
If you
wait,
have-
listen. Wait.
If you have the test
wait.
his type of money, call the bank ahead of time. Call the bank, brother. I can't have anything happen to you. All right. We're already one man down from the Black Panther cast. We can't lose Ryan Coogler too. All right. I'm just saying. That being
Okay,
said, though, she shouldn't
this
have called
is
the cops on him. That was unfair.
So you
Bank
can
of America
find
should
you can
go.
find me at
Bank of
Alex
America's gotta pay
and
for this.
Nobody on Instagram and on TikTok. On TikTok is also where you can find the First Ones to Die podcast, where I post little sections such as these little interactions there. The First Ones to Die is also where you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and our email. Shoot us an email if you'd like us to talk about any particular topic, like to hear us rant about something, or just want to send us a private message. What about you, Jonathan? Let Jerome cool down. Where can we find you?
You can find me at Jonathan Keys on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you please.
That's
I feel like
what
we
it was,
had.
Alex. That was the phrase. Jonathan Keys at Twitter, Instagram.
Oh, did you guys mess
We
it up?
tried
last
to
week?
do it. We tried to do it. It was Jonathan Keys. Say it again.
On Twitter, Instagram, wherever you please.
Twitter and Instagram. We thought it was one or the other. Just
There we
Twitter
go.
and Instagram.
We had I appreciated even though it was a lukewarm movie, I appreciated the energy and therapy somewhat that we had in this episode.
Yeah, we had
It got deep. Also, please, we would love it if you would give us 5 stars if you're listening to us through a podcast platform. Give us a review. That would really help us and help more people find us as well. If you're watching the video version of this, please give us a thumbs up, comment, subscribe as well, and we'd love to have you a part of the discussion.
Yeah, you can find me at Not Jerome Rhett on Instagram, as well as at
Alright.
RoboZoo Media, and at Jerome_the_show on Instagram as well, to find out about other things I'm doing creatively. And speaking of the YouTube version, also check out the YouTube version to find all types of extra content that you cannot get on the podcast apps. Things like mini reviews, book reviews, gaming content, vlog stuff, all types of things that can only be found on the YouTube channel. So go over there. We got some great stuff up there. We just did a Peacemaker mini review, Big Brother Canada mini review, book review. I think you guys just finished one, right? That you're it's gonna be coming up soon.
Oh, yes.
So all types of stuff is going up there. Go check it out. It's awesome. Yeah, and so before we go, Alex, one more time.
Why?
That's for the
milk.
Batman. Now,
Drinking milk straight
First
out of
Ones to
glass.
Die.
Fucking weirdo.
out.
We'll see
Bye.
y'all next week for wait, what are we doing? We're doing something. Scream. We're doing Scream
is next week.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
It's
See
late,
ya.
but it's coming. Bye.
Bye.